if you were to ask me who the best director is in Indonesian horror cinema right now, you probably would expect me to say Timo Tjahjanto or Kimo Stamboel. You know, the Mo brothers. They're the big property right now. But no, I say no. I say it's this guy, Joko Anwar. Joko is the guy responsible for Pendabdi Setan remake and part 2, so Satan Slave 1 and 2 remake, and also Impedigore, which everyone seems to really hold up really high as a top Indonesian horror film, and also another one of my real favorite Indonesian horror films from 2010 called The Forbidden Door. This looks good. This does look good. I've already seen it because the first time I recorded this video, it stuffed up, so I have to record it again. But let's check out the trailer for a movie called Grave Torture, which is about to release in about 4 weeks' time.
Nama saya Sita. Saya menghabiskan
My
waktu
apologies,
saya
I don't
sejak
have any
remaja
English subtitles for
untuk
this.
mencari orang paling
Couldn't get it
berdosa.
subtitled in time, but I don't
Kalau
think
agama
you'll
benar,
need it once you
dan
see
manusia
what's
akan
going on
mendapatkan
in this
balasan
film.
sesuai dengan apa yang dia lakukan di dunia. Orang yang saya cari itu pasti akan mendapatkan siksa di dalam kubur. Dan saya ingin menyaksikannya.
It's got great atmosphere, this trailer. It really, really does. And it's really building up. Typical Joko Anwar style. Really builds up
Nanti
to
orang
what's
itu akan
going to be a
kita
good
kubur
film.
semuanya. Untuk mastiin kalau benar dia dapat siksa. Berarti orang yang akan kita kubur juga akan dapat siksa.
Orang ini siapa sih?
Orang paling kejam yang pernah aku kenal.
Kamu main-main sama agama sih. Gimana kalau ternyata agama itu benar?
Mau mainin agama ya? Mau jadi penista agama? Kalau nggak ngerti agama, nggak usah ngomong agama.
Ini gila sih.
Biar orang nggak percaya tahayul, Dil.
Banyak orang yang bakal marah sih.
Akhirat, siksa neraka,
This is where
kita
it
tidak
starts
tahu
getting real
kapan.
creepy.
Tapi alam kubur bisa saja terjadi pada dirimu besok atau hari ini.
Ready for the jump.
Siksa Kubur hanya di bioskop Lebaran 2024.
I think that looks cool. And it's typical Joko Anwar style that he would just make a film like that. And it's coming from a really good background with Impedigore and with Satan Slaves and with The Forbidden Door. Now, the main actress in this movie, who goes by the name of, well, that's her name, Faradina Mufti. She was in Impedigore, if you remember the film. I'm struggling to think of the character that she played, but I know she was in it. It wasn't one of the two main girls, so that was Tara Basra was one of the main characters. But she was in that film. Christina Hakim's also in this film, who was also in Impedigore as well. Now, you're probably going to want to know what it's about, because that, without having English subtitles, it may have been a little bit hard to follow. But I do like what this one's about. When Sita was a teenager, she witnessed her parents die in the hands of a suicide bombing in the name of religion. So it's already, for a Western audience, it's already getting a bit on the hot side. You can imagine how this is going to go down in Indonesia. She then spent her life to try and find the most evil person that she could, and when they die, she wants to bury herself with that person to prove that punishment in the grave that was mentioned by religion doesn't exist, and thus religion is not true. I think we can kind of interpret by that she's thinking that a person who dies and goes to heaven to get their just rewards actually won't happen. So she buries herself alive with this person. But then it ends here by saying there'll be consequences for those who don't believe. So clearly she's a non-believer. That ending reminded me a bit of Keramat too, if you've seen any Indonesian horror movies, where it's a kind of found footage film where the students bury themselves in the ground to kind of enter themselves into the portal world, into an alternative world That's what the ending of this movie reminds me of, when they kind of do that. But this looks cool. This looks cool, and it's another strong horror movie with religious overtones in it. And of course, being well, I've got to be careful what I say here. Me being a Catholic, we've grown up on a lot of Catholic horror films like The Exorcist and the newer stuff like what's that film called? The Conjuring kind of stuff. Watching movies based on Islam and the Muslim faith, it's a bit different for me. So this will be very interesting, again, watching another one of those films to really pick up on this stuff that's happening in it. But I don't know about you. I think this looks good. I think this looks really good. And I think this might be the top Indonesian horror film of the year. This might better KKN Part 2 when that comes out. You can see in the bottom of the screen, it's got a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Thumbs up if you like this and you want to see it. Thumbs down if you're not too sure or you don't want to see it. I'd be keen to get your opinions on this film, because I really do think this is going to be worth more than 2 smiley faces. And I might have to bring out the unicorn light for this film once I get a chance to watch it. It comes out the 10th of April, so you'd expect at least a 3-month gap from Indonesian cinema by the time it releases on stuff like Netflix. I believe Satan Slaves and Impedigo all ended up on Netflix, so I would say that this would be the where this one ends up, and I think this will be a fabulous looking film. So it's called Grave Torture. It is based on Joko Anwar's 2012 short movie. It was a 9-minute short film that he made, same title, very similar plot, just about a young boy who wants to get buried with his father. So he's taken that kind of 9-minute story and turned it into this almost 2-hour feature length, and I think we might have one of our winners of the year. Fingers crossed. So, what do you think? Leave a comment below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm the Rahadian. You're watching Shockmania, and I will catch you next time.